at the Emporia Arts Council across the way here. Going to go down to 8th, a little bit past that. And then we're going to cross over and get in position here for the men's Elites 200. And this is a phenomenal scene here in downtown Emporia as we speak. So many people right now. We mentioned 5,000 cyclists that are part of the activities, but that's just the half of it. You have people who are riders, you have people who are family and friends, you have people who are just interested onlookers. And yes, we are at the finish line party headquarters now, which is in full throat until midnight. Then you have vendors, then you have support staffers. I mean, this is it in Emporia here today. We're gonna get our spot here because the Unbound cyclists, the lead and the elite men are coming very, very shortly. And we hope we can get ourselves positioned here in a good spot. But cyclists already who are in from their rides. This is just a spectacle like none other in Emporia, Kansas right now. The cowbells are in full force. At last check, we had 3 riders for the men who were basically within a second of each other. Okay, now we're near the Emporia Arts Center. Everybody poking over to see what they can see first. Here's the view from across the street. All right, we're gonna edge our way a little bit closer here. See what we can see. And for the first time, second time I think we've had helicopters that were at the front. We also see here the big screen TV with the cyclists coming down the chute. Let's see here. We may have to reposition a couple of times before we're all said and done. But we're just past 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, it's like 2 hours maybe.
And we are near the end.
William Ross, Scott Sturr, Charles Hauser, and Renee Steinwand out of Colorado Springs. Completing their journeys here, Steve Pasco, Ruth Clements out of Corona Del Mar, making the trip over.
We've gotten close.
Eddie Ratliff out of Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Rolling into his finish here.
That's fun.
Tons of people right now. This is something else. More cyclists coming across now. Unbound focuses a ton on the racing side of things. But there's been a space for the casual cyclist or those that just simply want to test themselves for a very long time.
Jonathan Perez, Edwin Herlo, and Brian Maluski. Finishing up their bids here, Jim Edwards and Ethel Edwards out of Topeka. Both riders 71 and 73 years young, respectively. Finishing 50 miles here together. Let's hear it for them, folks. Not to be outdone, Lynn Hake, also 71 out of Dallas, Texas. Alejandro Mera completing his 100-mile journey after making the trip over from San Francisco. Tyler Galloway crossing as well.
Seemed like none other in sight.
Rolling into our finish chute right now, Dylan Gessinger and Jack Fisher out of Washington, D.C. David Wheatley.
Please do.
Now we wait.
I expect to see that on the website now.
Downtown Emporia. Beyond busy for Unbound here today.
Ben Sandy, Dave Jackson, Kent Smith, Chris Sutton, Charles Wolf, and Michael Wolf, all rapid finish here. Sydney and Tim Cochran also finishing up their day.
Not sure how peaceful or easy the ride's been, but
Dennis Cruff.
there's a great. More and more cyclists coming across.
Michael Newman, Zachary Warren, Scott Blinder, Brian Veerling, and Laura Campbell all rolling into the finish of their 2025 Unbound Gravel Experience. Laura Campbell, Clara Apple, Vance Freeman, Jackson Carter, and Tim McShane out of Oklahoma City finishing up their 100-mile journeys here.
Still a little bit of time before the Elite 200s come steaming across the finish.
Doug Hennessy, Brandon Hood, Stephanie Gregg, Matt Spar.
So we are rapidly building towards a crescendo
Remco
now.
Van Mol out of New York. All completing their run today. That little internal clicker in my head is starting to go off here, Melly, and I think we might be getting close to one of our final checkpoints for our elite men in the 200. They were 40 miles or so out in the last half an hour. Melly, we got any updates down there from our timing crew? As Jerry Prado, Ellis Slover, Chris Shane, Paul Cassett, and Tim Burke finish up their day here. So just waiting on a little update from our timing crew to see where our elites are in this 2025 Lifetime Unbound Gravel presented by Shimano. Kyle Rancourt, Terry Lee, Werner Nersteimer, Jason Engel, Nikki Schweeve, Ryan Foley, and Teresa Christensen all finishing there in a big group. A little hop over the finish line there. Maria Borer on the tail of Teresa Christensen. Chris Swans all will be coming into view out of Chaska, Minnesota. Hands in the air for the rider, completing 100 miles and 3,000 feet of elevation gain. Gregory Cudahy, Adam Yates, Kim Jones, and Ben Meyer. Crossing the finish here.
In YouTube live coverage here of the finish line, the 350 riders
Mark Lodmill out of
both
Denver,
set
Colorado,
records
crossing there
for finishing
on his
earlier
100-mile
today.
journey.
Both actually
Fiona
finishing
McPherson Grant out of
before
Grand
noon.
Rapids, 50 miles. Some of the best riding that Emporia, Kansas has to offer here. The gravel capital of the world. Wesley Pruitt from Conway, Arkansas, crossing our finish line.
Cyclists have been going here so far this morning and afternoon at speeds approaching 25 miles an hour at times. They have been flying. All the rain that we had.
Tom Cotton, Eric Kale, Ania Egan, and Wes Wright all finishing up their day. Shane Rinks from Trenton, Tennessee, as we take a look back up the hill for our expectation point. Just some riders coming into our field. Ryusuke, Arima, Nathan Davenport, Cody Bucharler, Adam Spencer, Chad Bothers, and James Brosnan.
Still waiting here for our
Shane
leaders.
Rinks, Don Fuller, and Jim Nelson.
But we were just mentioning here
All
about
crossing
all
the
of the
line
rain that we
there.
got. We got 5 to 7 inches of rain, pretty widespread here this
Nichols,
week. Some places
Renee Garcia Reyes, and
Getting-
Rachel Taylor, Jeff Beeston.
getting maybe
Crossing the line,
8 inches or
Benjamin
more.
Franchi out of Anaheim, California. As I see media starting to load into this finish line shoot, that means we must be getting close to the finish of our elite 200-mile lifetime Grand Prix
Look
Series.
like they're
Stop
getting
number
real
2,
close.
the Unbound Gravel presented by Shimano.
Another 10 minutes
Monica
maybe,
Nelson, Beth
and the guys are home.
Bridgham, Gary Ann Norris, Calvin Bleckman, Margaret Bleckman, and Max Duarte all coming across the finish here on the Lookers left side of this finish line shoot. Lookers right, we are still waiting with bated breath for some updates on our 200-mile elite lifetime Unbound Gravel Elite Men presented by Shimano.
The track, even with, just getting back to the prior point, the track, even with all the rain that we had,
Clarence Jocelyn, and Diana Bridges all crossing
was
on
extremely
their
fast. If the
150-mile
XL 350 was any
journeys,
indication. With the leader coming in under 18 hours on the men's side, under 21 hours on the women's. Yeah, super fast times. And
Nick Bond,
with the forecast
Ryan
calling for the possibility of more thunderstorm
Kolewski.
activity here later today and tonight, including a possibility of some hail and wind with isolated to scattered storms here over the next several hours. It really has behooved the riders who jumped out to the front, stayed in the
James
front,
Huckabee finishing up his day
and set a
here.
blistering pace in the process.
50 miles of gravel riding.
That approach
Andrea Gellar
may well
rolling in from
turn out very well. We'll see how things go tonight on the weather front, and if that develops, how that affects other riders.
Darren Steen from Blenheim.
It does appear, though, that the leaders are on paved
Darren
ground
Steen
and
from
coming
Blenheim,
up
our last finisher there.
to Emporia, Kansas here very soon.
we're making sure things are up to date as we are expecting finishers getting close for our elite men in their 200-mile Unbound gravel journey.
More cyclists coming across in the shorter distances.
Nathan Davenport, Raisuke Arima, Adam Spencer, Nathan Curtis, and Cody Buchalter. And just seems like now we're starting to get those updates from our timing crew on the finish of the 200. We're getting close here, folks. So let's see what it looks like from our timing and scoring crew.
Cyclists are pushing hard. Those in the 20 or the 200. That'll show you. They're at a fast pace, but it is a grueling run through the Flint Hills.
Kate Bowman, Chris Wilson, James Brosnan, and Gerardo Rojas Rodriguez crossing the line.
Guys, we're gonna
Chad Brothers, Christian Leask, and Sebastian DiMaggio. Mikey. There we go. These are the updates we're waiting for. Our elite finals. What do you got for us, Melly?
Word on the street is the males are 1 mile out. 1 mile out. We are looking like we're going to have another sprint finish here towards the end. If you are not watching the live stream on the big screen over here, you can see the action start to unload. Do not get caught staring at the big screen though. There's a slight delay on it, and if you look too long, you're going to miss the finish.
You heard the guy. Another possible sprint finish after 200 miles of digging in the dirt.
All right, so we're going
And
to be
Thunderstruck becoming extremely appropriate as we get ready to go.
Cameron Jones is a wild card in the Grand Prix. Top 3 in the wild card post Unbound will get pulled in automatically into the Grand Prix for the balance of the year. So there's a lot on the line here for Mr. Cameron Jones. Let's see if he can pull
Here we
through.
go.
Anyone's here on the backsides, Emporia.
I'm seeing somebody coming across my expectation point. Cameron Jones, the first name on my screen. Through that expectation point. 1 mile from the finish. There could have been one of our wild card riders here from Virginia. Some of our riders coming through in the 100-mile race. Josh Gann, Peter Donich, and Chris Clark as we desperately look up Commercial Ave. It looks like on the outside of that fence, some more of our 150-mile riders completing their runs. Kevin Gonzalez, Josh Gann, and Paul Harrington, Ethan Leslie, Kevin Gonzalez, and Adam Farmer. And we've seen one rider on my start screen come through expectation.
All right, we should be seeing them making that right turn here shortly on the 12th. There we go. Nope, not yet. They made the turn on the 12th. And he's second there. Mikey at the north end. We should be seeing that leader make that turn.
We're keeping our eyes peeled for riders making it on the looker's right side of that fence. That's what we want to see for the finish of this 2025 Lifetime Unbound Gravel presented by Shimano. Just seconds away from what turns out may be a finish line sprint. We're looking for the rider on the right. It looks like it could be. It is. This rider is on the correct side. Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be, Mikey? I don't know.
It was Cameron. It was Cameron through expectation point. Somebody's gonna have to recognize with better eyesight than me, Melly. The sprint to the finish. Let's bring him home. It looks like it's gonna be. I'm hearing Cameron. I'm hearing it is Cameron Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Lifetime
Heroes Lifetime Grand Prix takes home the W. Cameron Jones from Blacksburg, Virginia. What a ride! Cameron Jones, wild card.
Cameron Jones does it.
Ticket. Grand Prix top 3 go on for the balance of the series in 2025.
Cameron
what an
Jones
unbelievable ride for
announced
Cameron
as the
Jones.
winner of the XL 200 Elite Men, and the Elite Women are not that far down the chute.
Unbelievable.
We're going to take a break here on
8-hour pace as
YouTube,
well.
Yep.
live and social
First time,
media,
7-8.
but we'll have more coming.
Second
Come on down,
place
Gravel.
on the line. Rider number 22, that's Simone Pirot.
Much more to come here on KVUE
Simone
and
also put on an
KVUE.com.
amazing show out at Sea Otter. Fantastic effort there.